let's talk basic mat setup. Of course, that's going to depend on which class you're taking, whether it's restorative or a more active vinyasa, but there are some basic elements that kind of flow no matter which class you're taking. So, the first being your mat. Now, you can get a basic mat. They sell, I think, Guillaume and other brands at Target, which are just fine. You can go all the way up to very expensive mats. One brand in particular, I have a Liforme or Liforme, Liforme, and I really love it. It has guidelines on it, so you can check if you're in alignment, if you're symmetrical, if you're at your 45, if you're placing your hands and feet the same distance apart each time. So it's a really nice mat. It has some good grip. And it's, I get sweaty, so I don't slip and slide on the mat whenever I do, which I really, really like. So basic, gonna have your mat, gotta have some water. And obviously I would recommend a reusable water bottle, one that has some sort of lid on it, because it just is gonna get kicked over at some point or another. You're gonna kick over your cup or your bottle, and if you have a nice contained lid, obviously that's better than if you have something that's just going to spill everywhere and disrupt your practice, and you have to completely step out and clean that up, and then you're probably not going to come back to the mat. That would be the class for the day. That's just, nobody wants that. So something that will be okay if it falls. Additionally, I always recommend, this is a luxury item, not necessarily a necessity for any yoga class, but I love eye bags. I make lavender and flaxseed ones, and just even in, especially at Shavasana at the end, but even in just postures throughout, if this is within reach and you know that you're, especially in restorative class, if you're going to be in a posture for a long amount of time, just throwing that on or even having that nearby so you can smell it. It's just a really nice little extra special treat you can do for yourself as you practice. So moving on, if you don't have a eye pillow, which is no big deal, you can always use a towel, whether that's, I always have a towel if I'm doing an active practice. I always have a towel if I'm doing an active practice because I am a sweaty Betty. But even if you aren't, there's so many benefits to having a towel around. You can fold it however is nice and comfortable, and that can be your eye pillow or your eye blockage at the end for Shavasana. I can't stress enough how wonderful it is to just take away the light when you're at the end of class. Even if it's been a power class, an active class, it's just a nice little treat to give yourself. I'm trying to think of a better word, but really that's it. It's a nice treat to indulge during your practice. So mat, water bottle, eye pillow, towel. These next ones are all going to vary depending on the class you're taking especially, but no matter what, I generally like to have blocks on hand. And these are different ones. So we have some foam blocks here. These I think are Manduka, and they're the basic recycled foam block. I really, really love these. There's a little bit of give, so they're not too harsh, but they are really strong. I mean, you can stand up on these. Put all of your weight on them and they're going to hold, they're going to stay true to form, and they're going to be perfectly fine. But if you want to venture out, I also love some cork blocks. Here are two of my faves. I'm not sure where I got them. I've had them for so long, but they're going to be a little harder. So where you might have some give, say particularly if you're leaning or doing your occipital ridge release, this will have a little bit give, this will be a little bit harsher. And then they have a whole bunch of other types of blocks out there, wood blocks. Just the best thing is to research, see what you like, and give it a try. And if you want to throw out a whole bunch of options, I would just go right here, honestly, with the Manduka recycled foam, dense foam blocks. And I'll put links to things. I'll give links to things that I highly recommend. Like moving on to the bolster. There are a whole bunch of bolsters out there, and I mean, I've tried a couple, but by far my absolute favorite, would always recommend, hands down, is Hugger Mugger, Hugger, Mugger. This is what the bolster looks like. It comes in all sorts of colors, so you can get one to fit your personality or mood. Handles on either side, and really and truly, I could unzip this cover to wash it if I wanted. I don't want to do that because it looks so nice and new. So, pro tip, I actually use a pillowcase. And standard pillowcases are just fine, but it won't cover all the way to the very end. So I'll get this on here. So if you were to use a standard pillowcase, you would get about right here, maybe. And so as you can see, you're not really gonna get that full coverage. If that bothers you, which if it doesn't, don't worry about it, but it bothers me. So I get the extra long, I think these are king size pillowcases or whatever they are, the extra long ones, and then I can fold it over. And now my bolster is good to go for however long I want, and it's easy peasy to throw that off, throw that in the laundry, put a new pillowcase on. Moving on, straps. Again, there are a variety of straps out there. In fact, I'm going to grab a couple more to show you. I only grabbed one to remind myself to just show it to you. But here are a few more. So some things to look for whenever you are getting your strap. Please ignore the kitty. He's not a necessary yoga prop, but I will say he is a delight, and he will always come right whenever I'm in my zone and demand to be, like right now, pet me, love me, center of attention. So if that happens to you, if you have fur family, whether it's dogs or cats that roam through your practice when you're at home, go with it. Let that be a lesson. Step over them. Laugh with them, tickle with them, play with them, because they're vibing on your energy. They're loving it too. So back to our props, our straps. So here is one that I got in a subscription box, which, by the way, subscription boxes have given me some really great stuff yoga-wise. Buddha Box is one that I really like. I haven't tried any of the others, but I've heard great things. So this is one that I received in one of my boxes. And it's a nice strap. I really like it. It's got the double ring for the connection. But while I enjoy the strap, if you're going to purchase one, I would recommend paying attention to the length. So you can see this green strap, which looked nice and long, is a lot shorter than my trusty black strap here. And this black strap comes in all sorts of colors. I think I got mine on Amazon, and the plastic clasp. It's 8 feet in length, I believe. So you're not often going to need that much length in your strap, but if you want it, you have it. Whereas this option, there are a few postures where you really want to use some props and wrap yourself in and strap yourself down. And this is just a little too short for my taste. So those are going to be your traditional mats, straps. As you can see, nothing fancy, just a nice long strip and some sort of clasp, whether it's the double ring or this little plastic buckle type contraption. I'm not sure what the official name is, not for you, Mr. Kitty. And then this is another strap that you might come across. I really like it as well. The different thing about this is that while it's a nice long strap, each part of the strap is doubled over and sewn down into sections. So, I mean, no matter where you go all the way across, you're gonna have this. Now, one thing I do like about it is, particularly for legs up the wall, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show you because this is one of my favorites. In wide legs, your option is to use your strap. We'll show the traditional route real fast. We won't go into a lot of demos, but just for this purpose. And say you're going to wide legs, you really have to strap it in. Imagine that I've taken the time to strap it and I'm not holding it here. And you really have to hope that it locks in. Sometimes it'll fall, sometimes it'll go up. But what I like about this strap is I can just hook onto the ankle. So now my ankles the tension is holding it, and I can just let go. So there are a lot of benefits, depending on whatever strap you get and how I'm locked in here. So don't necessarily write off a prop just because it doesn't look like what you've seen before. Maybe it has a little bit of a flair. Maybe it's very basic, but either way, it's going to provide a lot of benefit. And just recommend always either having, at least having one strap handy for practice. It's so beneficial. I'm not even going to try to fold them up because clearly Kit Kat is obsessed. My other basics would be, so this is a traditional yoga blanket, which is actually a traditional Mexican blanket. And you can get these all over if you want to go find small businesses all the way up to corporations. I mean, you could get some on Amazon, but there are some really good small shops out there if you want to find local and support local, or find a small artist and support. The thing about the yoga blanket, the traditional yoga blankets, is they're pretty big. So this is folded over and then folded in half even further. So you can see I could get pretty big out there. It's durable, I can wash them. It's obviously very comfortable. Excuse me, Giddy, he didn't care for that. And there, if you have a traditional yoga blanket, you can look up the traditional ways of folding things, because there are all sorts of folds for your props, official folds for your props in yoga, and you can learn those and you can know them and you can enjoy that you have that little level of expertise if you prefer. Or bath towels work great. The only thing with bath towels is, first of all, you're going to want two, same size, and it's going, as you know, bath towels vary from size to size. It's just going to be you getting used to your bath towel and knowing what you can create, the thickness that you can deliver. This is just a basic triple fold, produces a nice thickness. But see, now if I were to fold this up and get a really nice thick, you can see that I can create different. So I might different heights here. So I might need two bath towels to make up what I can create with one yoga blanket. But if I have one yoga blanket, I'm limited to one prop item. If I have two towels, I can split them up, and in other postures where I might want protection under my knees, say in a wide leg forward fold, you can take your towels, roll them, and they don't have to be this thick. You can unroll them out and make your roll a little thinner. I mean, if, for instance, I could roll it this way, now I'm definitely thinner than I was here. You would obviously want them to be the same height underneath your knees, but this is a nice little protection. So I'm not going to overextend. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on the back side of that knee as I'm going into my folds. And that's just a benefit of having two rather than one. And of course you can do that with two yoga blankets, but might have to go out and buy that, whereas most likely you have two bath towels lying around the house that could be utilized. So, and then take the time, fold your props up, even during practice. That little moment of self-care is self-care for you. So enjoy that, take that time. All right, so that is going to be, All right, so that is going to be our basic setup, our basic props for our, for any practice. And then we can get into some of the other things that you might be interested in, you might want to have around, which would include music. I have a little Wonder Boom here. I love it because it's durable, waterproof, beach proof. You could take this to the sand. It links Bluetooth wirelessly, and it links very easily to whatever device you may be using. I've linked it to my phone, my iPad, whatever it may be. And then music device. So for me, that's my iPad. The other thing I like about this is if you happen to venture into making your own flows and you like to write out your own practice, you can always keep it handy, turn it to airplane mode so nobody's disturbing you, and prop it up off to the side of your mat so you can easy view it without having to constantly check something or come out of your practice or come out of your zone in order to enjoy that and play with your own practice. Or maybe you're writing down a practice that somebody else has already given you or that you've already enjoyed and you want to follow it, in which case, same thing. Write it down, put it off to the side. Things for the senses. So the smells, these are varying smudge sticks. So this is a monster of a smudge stick. It's a little old now, but it is, I'm going to sneeze real quick. the kitty and all the allergens, but this one's got a whole bunch of wildflowers bundled together, and it's lovely. I do love that one. This was one that, these are actually two that my mom gave me one year for Christmas, and this one's special with little rose petals around it, and this one's more traditional, though it does have some lavender in there. And for the purpose, let's go ahead, we'll see. So you would just give that, I'm not creating a flame, I'm not creating anything that's actually of a fire, more so just getting a little bit of smoke. Using that for the smell. Traditionally, smudge sticks or sage are used to burn and cleanse spaces, so you can cleanse your mat. You could, see now I've already gone out, because I don't like to, I mean, some people let their get to be a big whatever, but I find just a little bit goes a long way. You can do this around your doors, around your windows, just to clean a space, or you can set it in there and let it go by itself. Some others might include, so visually we've talked about using a towel or an eye pillow to block out the light during a peaceful pose or a shavasana moment. But you can also use some sort of physical reminder. Maybe you have a mala bracelet or a mala itself that you enjoy, or that reminds you, or that draws you into the moment. And you can set those just right up at the corner of your mat. For practice, there way you have a visual stimulus, a visual cue to keep in the moment, to remember whatever it is that you are looking for. So this is my mala. And if you are interested in learning more, I definitely recommend checking it out. They're incredibly interesting, as well as here are mala bracelets. This is one I made for my 95-hour children's yoga teaching certification graduation. And they lava stones. So they come in all sorts of sizes. You can get very traditional in both meaning and design. So traditionally there'll be 108 beads. It's a very interesting topic to research if you ever just want to dive down a hole and research something. Mala beads, M-A-L-A. Similarly, you don't have to have a bead. Say you have a stone or a crystal or just something tangible, something small that does the same thing for you, that calls you to the moment, that calms the heart, that channels your inner strength, whatever it may be. That's as long as it works for you, that's fine. And just set it right at the corner of your mat. I mean, if you're facing this way, at the corner of your mat. So you can get creative. This is just a little collection of rocks that have meant things to me or people have given me. And so we did smudge sticks. Some people don't like the smell of sage, totally fine. Candles, wonderful alternative. This is from Wahi Yoga, W-A-H-I. And I love this one because it has a wood wick and the smells are just really, really delightful. So, and again, I'll try to put links to things. Last but not least, if you don't want to put a mala bead, or you don't want to put a rock, or you don't want to put whatever, they make intention cards, which you could look for purposefully, like read and find the one that connects today, or sometimes it's nice to just draw one out and let that assign your intention. For today, I dance. And throughout that practice, I just channel my inner dancer. And I'd put that up to the side of my mat so it could come to mind throughout practice. Or similarly to the intention cards, oracle decks are fun and personal, so it's going to be how much you put into them, whether you do them purely for entertainment and for just that joy of it, or if you take a deeper meaning. This is one of my favorites. I would just give it a little shuffle before, and then you can do, it comes, all of them will come with their, you could do a full reading or full drawing or whatever that term may be. I'm not 100% familiar, but I do enjoy the oracle deck. Or just draw one that calls to you on that day. So finding one, flipping it over. This one is strength. So I'll put that in the corner of my mat, whichever way I'm orienting. I probably, and by probably I mean definitely, would not do all of these things all at once. I mean, actually I might, I definitely would. I have. done all of these things at once now that I say that. But it just can be a lot. As you can tell, it's a lot of setup to get the smudge stick, to smudge the space, to start your candle. You want to make sure those fragrances work together, to pick out the mala that you're going to use, or to set it down and really give it the respect that it deserves. The intention cards, the oracle decks, probably redundant. So that would probably be where I pick one. Either I'm going to be a dancer or I'm going to find strength. And additionally, the rocks may be redundant to the mala beads or to the cards. So, all right. Well, there you have it. There is my basic, there's my basic mat setup and basic props that I like to use regularly. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or email them to me. Have a nice day, yogis.